right. Wow, Jesse. Fantastic. Thank you for coming by. Wow, she looks great. Tell me the story. You worked on it for how long?
Well,
2 years.
Since it left your garage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we actually started the car in September, but
Wow. And you banged out the fenders yourself?
I did.
That's more than a little work. This one needed all the help you could get.
That one I smashed out on my lawn.
Yeah.
When it was kind of frost was coming out.
No
so
kidding.
It was kind of a little bit soft.
Wow.
And I was having a hell of a time trying to do it with sandbags, so I thought, well, I'll just take it out on the grass and see how that works. Boy, did that ever work good.
Fantastic.
But
so is it on your same frame or is it a new frame?
It is on the original frame, yeah.
Wow.
Can you take a peek at the engine when the hood go up?
Yeah. Yeah, let's have a look.
If
Beautiful.
Wow. So the motor we did the first year. I got the car, and I sat there staring at it for the longest time, sitting in my garage.
So tell me about the mill. What do you got in here?
So this is a 12-valve Cummins diesel. It's out of a 1990 pickup.
Yeah.
And we were trying to decide what we were going to put in this thing. We were playing with the idea of an LS and a few things, and a friend of mine was getting divorced. And he had this motor sitting there, and it was pretty much a block and a head and a bunch of blocks full of parts. So he says, well, if you want that, I'll give it to you for $200.
She looks a lot more than that.
So I sent the block and the head out to a shop, had it professionally decked and cleaned and hot tanked and all that stuff. And then while it was in the shop, I ordered every single new part you can think of and started over from scratch. So it's
you had her on a dyno? What's it put up?
We haven't dynoed it yet.
Yeah.
That'll be on the 10th of August. We'll be dynoing this thing.
Wow.
So, but and then I built the motor and on a stand, and then we took the body off the frame.
Yeah.
So I took all the interior out.
You did this at home?
Yep. And I took the body
Wife
off the
allowed
frame.
this?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was taking the body off the frame was something else. That body weighs a ton.
I'm sure it does.
But I took a big pole and I put it through the front and the back, and we just kept jacking them up and putting jack stands
And
under,
kept
getting
lifting
higher
it.
and higher and
Yeah.
higher to the point we could roll the frame out. And then we rolled the frame to his house. And the motor, so remember the motor that was seized in it?
Yeah.
That motor came out the second that thing got home. So we pulled it off the trailer, we rolled it in my driveway, we cut the bolts off the motor, threw the motor in the back of my truck and went and dumped it out at Rainbow Salvage.
Good choice.
Immediately.
It was
Yeah.
totally seized.
Oh yeah, rock solid.
It was done.
Yeah, the whole
It was done.
drivetrain was absolutely.
It stopped seized, or it couldn't have seized just sitting there.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
It's been stored since '59 and ignored.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it was inside.
So we, I just left it sitting there, and I tore the front end apart and took the fenders off in the front end, just so I could kind of start giving the visual to kind of decide what I was
It's a
going to do
real
with it.
guy thing.
it's a guy thing. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, we just let the motor was ready. We did the frame, and of course had to do some altering on the frame. The motor was way heavier than the original one, so I put airbags on the front so that we can keep the original leaf springs.
Yeah.
But we just
So
assisted
you
it with
lifted it
airbags.
up.
Yeah.
And brakes and things. You've
So
got
the brakes are all
big discs.
Yeah, same discs all the way around. It's a 2014 supercharged Mustang is what we used for the discs and the calipers. Because of the weight of it, I wanted something that was going to be able to stop it
Yeah.
quite easily, which this does. They're fantastic. And then the wheels just kind of, they weren't originally going to have those. My wife was not impressed with me switching from the original wheels you had
Really?
to these.
This is an upgrade, my friend.
Well, I had these wheels in my loft I just bought them because I thought, I got them dirt cheap one day, and I thought, oh, I'll put these on something someday.
Yeah.
So one day I was staring at them, at the car without the wheels, and it was just sitting on the frame. I think it was just I don't even think the frame was under it at the time. And it was just sitting here, and I thought, I wonder if those wheels would fit those round. So I went in my loft and I grabbed one of the wheels and I brought it down and I set it there.
God damn, it works.
Oh,
God.
this has to happen. So the wheels was a big problem for us to try and match those wheels. But I mean, the clearance is right here is less than 1/8 of an inch. But I had to put a spacer in there in order to pull the wheels off. But I mean, we've had our fun things.
What was the biggest problem you had?
the space.
Space?
Yeah.
Lifting,
Get the wheels
getting the
up.
body back on the frame. That's
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I saw your
That's
garage,
why.
and, I mean,
Holy.
you had lots of toys in there already.
Yeah,
You worked on this too?
yeah. I did all the
Well,
I did all the framework and all the running gear,
Yeah.
and then Jesse did all the body and all the interior.
They're brothers, and both of them have fantastic skills.
I had a Ford 9H because I have another 29 Chevy truck
Oh, yeah.
that I was just starting when I met you originally. And so I thought, well, I'll pick up this car, I'll put the 29 in storage, and then I'll get back to the 29. So when you have your breaker on,
Yep.
so then you just lift up, do your reverse. It'll probably beep at you and you.
You got the keys to the front door?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be okay. I'll be 5
All right,
minutes.
all right.
But thank you. I'm not worried about my house when I can drive now.
Then you just pull it back down, you'll be in neutral. There you go. You think you'd be driving this thing again?
Never. This is such a thrill. The gauges came back good too, eh?
They're all retrofitted.
Wow.
How long is it? How many years? Like, when's the last time you drove this car?
1959. I was a teenager, and the car at that time belonged to my brother-in-law Jim. And he and my sister had been married, didn't have any money, so my dad gave him the car for a couple of years when they first got married. And actually, Jim taught me how to drive in this car.
Nice.
You learned how to drive in this car.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. I'm just going to go up to the left here.
You go wherever you want.
Was it always this bouncy?
I think so. I remember a trip to Jasper with my sister driving,
Yeah.
and old Nellie died halfway between Banff and Jasper. And I think it was, what I remember is there should be in bouncy at that time. But nothing as sophisticated as this vehicle, obviously. This technology is much
Well, it's definitely got probably a lot more control
yeah.
than you had before.
Wow. Well, this is a real thrill, gentlemen. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for...
I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Well, I was working, I was in the U.S. on an assignment the day you called.
Yep.
And no kidding, I was in a cheap rental in a hot parking lot getting ready to go to a meeting. And I said, gee whiz, I'd rather be in Calgary.
Yeah, you would have.
This is super. What's your plan for the winter? Will you take it out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I put a heater in it for a reason.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably get a set of Steelies or something like that I can throw on, and then I can put some winter tires on.
Lock it up for him. Hold on to your pants. Overdrive.
Wow.
It's right there, right?
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, she goes. She goes when you lock it up.
Fancy audio, big stereo, gauges.
Yep.
Wow.
So the way I did this is because I wanted to keep the original gauges,
Yeah.
and the speedometer was the kicker, thinking of going from an electronic transmission output to a mechanical speedometer. So I ended up doing some research, and I found a company in the States called Dakota Digital, and they make a special little unit that you can, basically it's a motor inside a box, and it connects up to your electronic transmission output, and then it has an output you order it with a specific output to fit your mechanical shaft, and you just thread it right on, and
Wow.
and that way it calibrates everything all by itself. So when you put it in the first time, we finally got it working, which that took something to get that working. But when we finally did, I went for a drive and I pulled up a GPS speedometer on my phone, and I took a look at this, and they were within like half a mile of each other, like spot on.
Wow.
It was amazing. I was like, oh, this is perfect.
I got to tell you a story. I'm glad you saved the horn here.
Yeah, I had to keep that.
When I was, I was preschool. I might have been 5 years old.
Yep.
We lived down on 4th Avenue and 10th Street,
Yep.
downtown. And I was in the car waiting for Mom and Dad. We were going to go shopping. They were taking a little time, and I started honking the horn. But I leaned too much on it. You might have noticed it was just tied on.
You locked it in.
Yeah, so I actually broke the damn thing off. So,
I wondered about that.
So I'm glad you saved it. It's,
You know what's funny is so that there's obviously the horn button that goes in that's supposed to be in that steering wheel. And as soon as one of the first things we did was took the steering column out of the car to start working on the interior.
Yeah.
And of course I ended up chucking the steering wheel, but I kept that, of course. And I put it on my workbench on my tool board, and I got the steering wheel, and I thought, that looks about the right size. That almost looks exactly the same size. So I went and grabbed it, and it fit, like, it just pressed into there. I was like, oh, again, it's like another thing that's just meant to be, right?
You know, between the glass, the red light at the back, finding that as a kid,
Yeah.
and having that fit, obviously it's meant to be.
Except for the karma of me being a retard.
Yeah, well, except for the hammer.
getting taught a life lesson by karma.
I'm going to diagonal here because she's and I'd recommend you back out that way too. Wow, what a thrill, guys.
Yeah, perfect.
What a thrill. Fantastic. Well, you made my day, you made my week, you made my year. Well, it's just great.
If you ever want to go for a cruise, literally call me anytime. Send me a text message.
I will. My wife's out today because it's her mother's birthday.
Yeah.
But I'd love in the future to have that opportunity to let Christy see it.
Well, so we can, if you guys want to even go on a date in it, I'll lend it to you.
Oh my gosh, that's very good.
Anytime you ever want.
Thank you, Josh. And congratulations, Brendan, what you've done and with your brother is fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah.
Right.
If you ever want to take her out, go for an evening, let me know. We'll me and Brandon will come and drop it off for you.
Oh my gosh, that's.
Or you guys can come out to Airdrie and get it and go take it.
We'll do that. We'll leave you a vehicle and yeah.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to it.
Thanks again.
You got to have something like this to enjoy every now and then, even when
it's amazing. It really is. Yeah. Wow. Thanks again.
You just want to wear narrow shoes.
I did notice that.
I actually bought a pair of shoes just for driving this car. Until I move that pedal over, which I will.